What's going on, car guys and car gals? This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fredlin Arts, the subprime hero.
And guess what? We are in the cafe brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. And you're with us today on a very, very, very special day that is sure to be inspirational. We have a very, again, I can get very wordy about how excited I get, how I am about this individual.
That's a
who
lie.
Is quick to jump out and swing a sword of truth, hope, and deliverance to whoever it is that he's speaking to. I'm getting ahead of myself. A little bit. But I'm going to spill the beans. But do us a quick favor, everybody. Car guys, car gals, you know what to do.
Share.
Tag a car guy, tag a car gal, and share.
Get some people in this cafe this morning. We're going to have a lot of fun. You want to talk about 3 people who just want to help other people grow, people who want to coach people and make them better? You have it this morning. You're going to have a lot of energy in here. You're going to have a guy who's going to tell you his story, how he got to where he got to and why he's doing it. Folks, this is going to be inspirational. Do not miss this. Get some people in here. Share this. Tag them. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Come on, car guys and car gals. It's Brewing Solutions time. Cool rhyme. Okay.
The rhyme was there, but the rhythm was kind of off.
All right, so let's get in rhythm. With very little ado left, right? We want to make sure that we are preparing a platform for an announcement of an incredibly inspiring individual that brings an army with him. And I mean, when I say army, I mean army of heaven. And usually a lot of the friends that we've been speaking to that get the chance to talk to him, we usually see him like this. This is how we see him.
That's how we see him. You guys see, if you're on the clubhouse, this is what he looks like on the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's usually like glowing and stuff.
It's got a little, it'll have a ring around him. Awesome Might have a green moderator thing down at the bottom. That's how we see Daniel. We all know Daniel this way. But guess what?
We have a little bit of something for you to see him in live action, folks. So go ahead. Again, keep getting car guys and car gals inside of this room. We're excited about it. Daniel Gomez is inside of the building. Go ahead and smell some of what he is brewing up.
Is when opportunity meets preparation. And most people are never prepared or they never see the opportunity. 98% of people are either dead or dead broke by the age of 65. Let me say that again. 98% of people are either dead or dead broke by the age of 65. I have to take action. Look, you are responsible for you. Say it, I am responsible for me. The greatest investment you're ever going to make is in yourself. The greatest investment you're going to make is in yourself. If you don't bet on you, who's going to bet on you? The problem is this, is we reach a level of success, and then we get comfortable, and then we get comfortable, and then we get comfortable, and we stop investing in ourselves, we stop doing the things that got us there. Too many of us think like employees. You need to stop thinking like an employee. That's why businesses fail. When you think like an employee, you don't invest in yourself, you think of everything as a cost. Now stop saying things are a cost. It's not a cost, you're investing in yourself. Say, I'm a successful business person. Write that down. Every morning you wake up, you write that in, you look in the mirror, you tell yourself, I am a successful business person. Say it again, I am a successful business person. That's you. I want you to say this in my heart. I want you to say this like you mean it, right? I can. I will. I must succeed in life. I can. I will. I must succeed in life. I wasn't born to be average. I was born for greatness. I was born for success.
Car guys and car
Folks,
gals.
I
we
was
are not
born
going
for success,
to lay
son.
this anymore. And he's got so much more to swing. So, car guys and car gals, do us a quick favor and welcome our friend, the incredible, the one and only Daniel Gomez.
Boom, baby! Woo! It's time to shine, baby. Now hey, this is the saying we had in the car business, right? Now's the time. This is the place, and I'm your man. Woo!
That's right, bro. You bringing it, and he brings the heat, folks. Did you guys hear all that fire he just dropped? That place was on fire. Everybody was pumped up. You were so right. Words are powerful. How you speak them and how they come out your mouth with the energy and intent is so key. And you bring those words so powerfully, man. And you make people say those words. Bring them out. Say them now and say them proud, bro. Way to go, man. I love it. You inspire me. I'm pumped up. That video got me even more jazzed up for this morning. Let's go. Woo! That's
I'm
right.
excited. I'll tell you what, man. Thank you for having me. I got to say that's one of the best intros I've had in a very, very long time. Maybe one of the top 2 or 3. So, boom, baby. I love y'all, man. You already made. I gotta go speak here in about 2 hours, but you just pump me up even more. So we're gonna rock and roll and make some waves, man. Let's do this.
Let's make some waves in this planet, man. Let's get these waves out here so people can all go some surfing. You know what I mean? Let's make it happen. So I'm excited to have Daniel here this morning. Once again, I'm Fred Lenarson Subprime here. I'm here with my boy
Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
That's right. And we are here with Daniel Gomez.
Daniel Gomez.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited because he's right down exactly what I want to do. You know, he has that energy. He has that positivity. He has faith behind him. He understands what is coming because he's putting the work in. Faith without works is dead. And he knows what's up with that. And I appreciate him for being that guy. I appreciate him for being the business coach that he is. I appreciate him for being the human being that he is. So thank you, Daniel, for being here.
Oh, man. Thank you. I'm honored to be here, man. I got 2 guys with more energy than me, so it's going to be a heck of a show. Let me tell you, I'm excited, man. Boom, baby! Woo, woo!
Let's do this.
Let's do this, bro. Let's kill this show.
So you know what's going on, Daniel. There's so much that you're inspiring from all levels of life, but there's something that's at core of the green part of the bean that is you, is that you're a car guy. And that's something that we definitely honor and we're excited to bring out. But folks, for those of you that do not know, he literally is the one pushing forward a shield of faith, teaching people how to wear that shield and let your faith be the things that go ahead of you to conquer any fear that you may encounter. And it's something that I honor, something that he speaks life over anybody that he gets the chance to speak to. And we're just so excited that we get the chance to glean from you. We get the chance to hear from you, and we get the chance to join our instruments with the music that you've been playing, you've been championing forward for years to come. But one thing that is definitely something that I know you have had to learn how to do, and that's to apply 3 F's to your life, because you are doing exactly that. As a matter of fact, car guys, car gals, he is a best-selling author of Born to Fly. Okay, I mean, are you kidding me? What other person do we need inside of the room once we get past the point of forgiveness? Once we get our tools in order and we get the chance to focus, then you need to learn how to fly. And he has come into our life and into the cafe for such a time as this, as an announcement to us and to you. If it's coming to us, it's coming through us to you, car guys and car gals that are receiving this message today. It is time for you to fly. And the leader with the shield of faith himself is in the cafe. And man, I can get crazy wordy about it, but he got 3 F's to apply. So Daniel, you know the deal. We are going to forgive, focus, and fly so that we can keep growing. And I'm sure you can teach us a thing or two about forgiveness. You're much like us, right? You've made it to the heights that you have once you let go of the weight of forgiveness, even against your own father here on earth. And that's something that we honor and we appreciate, and we're going to dig into. But car guys, car gals, join us as we do it right now. Join as we forgive, focus, and fly. Put the hands put them on the shoulders, and then we're going to wipe it off on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Focus.
And fly.
And keep growing. Yeah.
Let's make this happen, man.
You know what, Lou, man? I love the way this is opening up, because the one thing that holds everybody back in life, and we don't even realize it, is unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is going to hold you back more than you realize, because you carry that shame, you carry that guilt, you carry that, and it's just like going through life. Imagine that we're going to the store and we're on bicycles and we have an 80-pound bag of potato sack on our back. That's going to slow you down. And that analogy of us going to the store on our bicycle, guess what? That potato sack, 80 pounds of potatoes, it's going to slow us down. That's the same way unforgiveness is holding you back in life right now. It's holding you back in your business, because it strengthens the capacity to think from a capacity of just abundance, of increase. Because when you have unforgiveness in your heart, you go to your destructive mindset, and nothing kills your life, nothing kills your business like a destructive mindset, Lou. And man, they don't realize that, guys. They don't realize that. And unforgiveness, I can tell you this. I used to get so angry all the time, and I was like, why the heck am I angry, right? I'm supposed to be this Christian guy. And I had a lot of unforgiveness towards my dad. And the thing is this, man, my dad was already passed away. And I'll tell you what, that's one thing that I had to come to a realization is, okay, well, the problem was this. I couldn't connect here because my lateral relationship with my earthly father, man, I was mad at the dude. So, because the way he treated my mom, I loved him, but I'll tell you what, the moment I forgave him, guys, man, everything just changed. I can tell you that.
That's right.
I love how you use that analogy of 80-pound bag of potatoes on your back riding a bike. And it's uphill, by the way, folks. That's what unforgiveness does to you. When you can't let that go, when you put all that weight on yourself, it's so hard to focus. It's so hard to fly to the future. You have to let that go, all that unforgiveness. Forgive.
Yeah, and you know what's harder than forgiving my own man? It was forgiving myself.
That's right.
You know, I carried so much shame. You know, when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, man, it just like, it broke my heart, because I was that, you know, I was making a lot of money running Chevrolet dealership, and we had our house paid off. Money wasn't an issue. Monetary wasn't an issue. But I was taking care of my work family more than I was taking care of my home family, man. And I can tell you, when I was on the phone, I couldn't understand what the heck she was saying. She was crying. I said, hey, chill out. Give yourself a minute. And all I heard was the word breast cancer come across that phone, and it changed my life forever. And the moment I was there, you know, as I really pondered on this, because I ended up resigning from running a store, and I said, man, what good does it do me to hire somebody for my wife? If I go, that's my job, that's my responsibility as a man. And so many of us men, we're not manning up right now, right? We're not being the leaders, we're not being the men of the household, because we carry that shame, we carry that guilt. Your kids need you, your wife needs you, not just the dealership. And I tell you what, the moment I really took a step back to really assess what the heck was happening in my life, and it took me about maybe 3 weeks after I left the dealership, is that I was like, wow, I carried that. I felt guilty, because I felt like, you know, when it comes to closing the month, man, I'll tell you what, we were making numbers, but I wanted to be the best, and I was the best. I was the best. We had a great team. But the thing is this, is that being the best, I would bring that attitude home, and I would run my home. We were very profitable at home, like I did the dealership. And all they wanted was just their dad. And I realized that I felt ashamed and guilty, because I felt that my wife was diagnosed that she got breast cancer because of the fact that I suppressed her so much. I suppressed her. I didn't give her a voice in the home. And man, our wives need a place to speak at home.
Oh, man, I love how you brought that full circle like that.
Wow.
That's powerful, man. And to take that and understand that and to use that and to share that story is powerful too, man. And that's deep. And you really touched me with that. I mean, our wives are very important to us, you know, and a lot of times we take them for granted because we are busy with work, because we think we're doing the right thing by going to work every day, by bringing home the bacon, right? That's what I'm supposed to do as the man. I bring home the bacon. Well, we have to be supportive. We have to love our family. We have to give them more than just monetary stuff. Monetary stuff will come, but the love and the passion and that energy towards them is needed. It's needed that for a balanced life. You have to do that not just with your wife and your child, but you have to do it with your friends, your family, what's important to you. If you don't give everybody good focus, something's going to slip and disappear, or they're going to have not enough nutrition, if that makes sense. You know, I'm using analogy there. You know, they're going to suffer, you know, and that's the thing that makes it very hard as businessmen, especially young business people. If you're out there watching and you're trying to get up in this business and you're so focused on, I'm going to grow this business, I'm going to get the best, I want to do this. And yes, you can do that, but don't forget about your friends. Don't forget about your family. Don't forget about those things. Because if you do, for one, they'll forget about you in their own little way. Two, it makes it very difficult to get back with them in the later. You know, it's when you put people to the side, they're going to put you to the side eventually. They're going to make you less priority. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing in some cases. Sometimes it might be a good thing. But what I mean by that is, in order for you to grow, you have to have a balanced life. You have to be able to appreciate all things that are important to you. And you have to let them know that they're appreciated. This way you can feel the energy. Because the more you give love, the more you're going to get back. It's a bottom line. And you bring that forth and you talk about that, Daniel, and I appreciate that. So
and it's the core focus for ourselves should be on one higher than us, because
there you go.
Can't be
there you
our own
go.
standard to ourselves.
There you
right?
go.
We're always trying to level up and fulfill what we're intentionally made to do. And what we are to do inside of a marriage is complement the other, complete, fulfill. Right? We are the connection piece to that other one, and it's the same thing in any other relationship. There's a grace. That's why it's a 5-letter word. The word focus is 5 letters, which is the number of grace, which again is something that we all lose on. We all get our gaze caught. We all get distracted, right?
But you know what the problem is though, is that right? We're so, since we're kids, we're taught to perform. We're actually, and I say it with all respect because this was me too, right? We're taught to perform like circus animals. We got to perform. We got to do this. We got to do that. And you're right. The grace should come in. But what happens when you don't give the grace the space that it needs, right? You have to give the grace the space and the place in your life. And many of us, we're so used to performing. You start the month, you close the month, you open the month, you close the month, you open the month, you close the month. And you're so performance-based because you got that from childhood, right? If you don't get first place, you're no good. If you don't win a championship basketball game, you're no good. And hey, you got to be first place. You got to be the best. And we ingrain this in our kids, and then we wonder where the relationships go because there's no relationship because we're so used to performing. And then we take that attitude to work, and then we have employees that really are looking for a role model because they, especially now in today's market, it doesn't matter if you're in the car business. Because I do corporate trainings all over on just different platforms. And I say that because what we don't realize right now is America, there's so many blended families, right? I want everybody to get this. There's so many blended families that you have a husband and a wife that have been divorced. Now they're coming together with new families. You have a D and you have a D daughter and a D son. One of those Ds is going to have to submit, right? So then they submit because the mom gives them a guilt trip to say, hey, you know what? Can I just be happy? Can I be happy for once? And they take it out on the kids. And then we wonder why our kids are hooked up on drugs or doing what they're doing because there's no family structure, there's no support. But if we really take back the step and realize that we don't have to perform, like you're saying, right? And really give that place and that space for the grace of God. It's not, we don't earn this grace by works, man. The word clearly says that. It's but we don't know how. The thing is this is, as men, and I'm talking to myself. I was talking to myself for many months. I wasn't used to receiving that grace because we're so used to perform like a circus animal. And I'm talking about myself on that.
And that's in all walks of life, and it turns into your business, turns into many different things. So I want to make sure that we do hone in on what we're saying here. If you're taking notes, car guys, car gals, make sure that you turn your focus on what is most valuable. So when you do get focused in life, you do put the blinders on so that you're not tempted to look aside to something that's not going to, usually we're saying, doesn't pay me. But we forget that there's so much more value inside of people, that it's not about profits. That's why we say people over profits. That's why we say relationship over revenue, because you have to focus and give your intentional focus on those that are valuable to you, just like everybody that's jumped inside of the cafe with us real quick.
We do have a lot of amazing people who jumped in this morning. A lot of people are sharing this, and I appreciate it. Man, yeah, I want to throw a few shouts out to these comments that we've had this morning so far. You know, we have, I'm not sure, it says Facebook user. Woo! Welcome back, Fred. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Amanda's on here. She got some hand claps going. Thank you for being here, Amanda. Brian Norris. Love Brian Norris. What up, all you car guys and gals? Yes. Facebook user says, let's go. Charles Higgins. He got the coffee mug out there, man. That's my man. What's going on? Drive with Charles. We hit Brian again. We got Terry Torline up in the house. Good morning, Solutionaries. Woo! We got Amanda. She's done shared this for us. Oh, God. Yes. My man. Russ, man. That's the dude right there. If you
I am a successful business person. Woo-hoo!
I love some Russ, no doubt. He's a great guy. I love your intro music. Get going every time I hear it. That's right. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Wendy Reeves. Oh, hey, Wendy. What's up, girl? Good morning, beautiful people. Yes, good morning, Wendy. I appreciate you. She hit us with the Forgive, Focus, Fly. Brian Norris. I was born for success. Yes, you were. That's right. Repeat those words, my friend. And then, of course, we got hitting us with the Forgive, Focus, Fly. Yeah, hashtag F3 and keep. That's right. Matt Damos in the house. The quality of your life. This is one of my greatest mentors right here. The quality of your life is defined by the quality of your relationships. Bam. Love it. Great words. Randy Poland says, awesome, guys. And then, of course, morning. Yes, good morning. So whoever this Facebook user is, I know there's a few of them on there. I do apologize. It's not me. It's StreamYard. StreamYard's still tweaking it out. They're getting it better. But hey, they have room for improvement too. Like just like everybody in this world. Daniel, thank you so much. We're going to get into this 5-liner. Daniel, I appreciate you for bringing all this amazing energy. I appreciate you for just dropping some great, as they would call it, nuggets, gems, whatever you want to call it on the clubhouse. But you are dropping those, and you've been dropping those for years. I love your story, man. I love where you're coming from. So I'm excited about hitting you with this 5-liner because I really want to get to know you some more and exactly where you're coming from. So this first question for you, Daniel, it's my favorite question. It's what Simon Sinek says. It all starts with the why. So what is your why? What is your purpose? What drives you every single day, my friend?
I would say that it's really just helping people that need help, man. You know, I know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to almost lose your wife. My son was my son's my little king, and of course I love all my kids, but my son Julian, man, he just has a special place in my heart. And when I almost lost my wife, when she was stage 2, when they diagnosed her with stage 3, my daughter was a little bit older, but I was like, man, what are my kids going to do without their mom? And I really thought about my kids and my son, and man, my son is what motivates me. My wife is my inspiration, but I see my son. I see, you know, people say, how do you know what you do works, Daniel? I said, because I see that I see it in my son. My son is only 21 years old, and he's already surpassed my success at his age. He's going to graduate here from Texas State University, and you know, he has things that I've never had because, you know, I never graduated from college. It's like, you know, college ain't for everybody. And God gave me that street hustle. I turned that street hustle into grind. And then I learned that I didn't have to grind, that I could walk in the grace of God. And, you know, one touch of God's favor is worth more than a lifetime of labor. God just really just accelerated my success. But I would say what really inspires me is my wife. When she was, you know, going through her reconstruction surgery, and she was getting up at 3:30 in the morning to still go to her CrossFit. I was like, what excuse do I have as a man not to go and do what I need to do in my business? Because I started my business the same month when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. It kind of all came to fruition. People thought I was crazy, but you know, I had to do what I thought I needed to do. And then now what motivates me is just seeing my son and my daughter too, right? They started their own little side hustle business, and it gives me joy because people are going to laugh at you before they applaud you. Let me say it again. People are going to laugh at you before they applaud you.
So, and now, sorry to keep, there's going to be like that. or they're
Yeah.
like clowning you laugh?
Yeah, no, they're clowning you, right? They're clowning
Right.
you. They're gonna laugh at you before they applaud you. But now that I see my kids, now that 4 years later, they're doing their own thing, man, it motivates me even more because I see them striving farther than what they would have if I wouldn't have done what I did and starting my own business.
Man, you showed them that it's anything is possible if you believe in yourself, you know, and you have belief, and you do, and you have faith, of course, right? And that's the power of being a parent, a power of being somebody that people look up to, you know. So you have not just your children and your wife, you have a whole bunch of people across the country, not just in car business. Like you said, you're an executive coach, man, and you help a lot of people through business, but also in personal, you know, and that's the beauty of that. It's just passing down a legacy, and you're doing that with grace. You're doing it so amazingly, and you've really found it through trials and tribulations. You know, you sometimes things have to happen before we see them. And when you smelt it, though, you took it all in, and you drank that brew right up, man. And I appreciate you for sharing that story, and appreciate you for sharing the love of your family like that. That's amazing, man. And to have a why like that is going to drive you so far. I know you have a lot of things that motivate you, that keep you going. And I know that, you know, as time goes by, things change and motivation changes, but I do know that you have one purpose, and that's to change your life and change other people's lives to the good. And that's beautiful, man. And earlier, you know, you were talking about stuff, and it's so key to understand that, you know, we grow up in in competition, right? We always try to be better. You know, we're on a team. We want to be the best team. We want to do these things. But, you know, I think what you found, and what we try to teach our children, what I try to teach my sons, don't worry about beating, you know, this other kid. Worry about being better than you were yesterday. That's it, man. Just keep going. Focus on how you could be the best version of yourself, because that's what all God wants you to do, is be the best version of yourself. He didn't make us all exactly the same at all. We're all different, and we're all individuals in our own way, right? We're supposed to be, or this world would be super boring. And I'm really thankful for that. Honestly, I am. And I'm really thankful that I don't have to worry about being better than Lou or being better than you, Daniel. Only thing I have to worry about is being better than myself. And when I focus on that, it's a lot less for me to worry about. I don't have to worry about the whole world. I just have to worry about me being better. This way I can pour into other people and help them be better, you know, and then it just keeps going and going. And then when you worry about other people, helping other people like you do, being a servant leader, next thing you know, it goes a long way, and years go by, and all of a sudden you're, you know, an award-winning executive coach, right? and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great story, bro. Seriously,
you know,
I love your why. It's awesome.
And the beautiful thing about it is the moment you come to the realization, kind of going back from what you said about performance, is that, you know, I was doing it. I was getting results. I was getting traction. And one day God just finally said, "Are you going to stop being busy doing nothing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, like, you going to run this company, or am I going to run this company?" And I you know, I just didn't know what to say. He goes, "You're working when you don't have to work as hard." And he goes, "Am I going to be the CEO, or are you going to be the CEO? Because if you're going to be the CEO, then you can do it your way." And I'll tell you, the moment I just really, you look at my Clubhouse bio, I put God as my CEO. I mean, he is. That's why my title on LinkedIn is president, because as a joke, I said, "Well, can I be the president at least?" He goes, "You can be anything. You can be anything you want, but you're not going to be the CEO if you want it to go far." And I can tell you, the moment I really changed that on LinkedIn to president, man, our sales went up like 15% that next month, and they've been going up ever since. And now we have, you know, we have more products. We're responsible for more people because we have a lot of, you know, employees that we take care of. Now we went from no one employees to now we have 3. So it's really a responsibility that I carry. But that happened when I really allowed, like Lou was saying, the grace of God to come in. And most of us, we don't allow ourselves to spend time with the Father, and then we wonder why our business is going crazy. We wonder why our life is going crazy.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. Yeah,
put that in your cup and sip on it.
Sip on that. Matter of fact, take a big gulp of that, because you need to.
Good. Everybody needs to get some of that inside of them, because it penetrates the heart, and it's doing things from the heart. Yes. Right? Selling from the heart, honoring people from the heart, looking towards your family and your relationships by way of the heart. And the heart is an overflowing vessel of what it is that heaven wants to actually do. The core of you, your true spirit man, wants to pour something out into this earth that's only going to come through your hands. It's only going to come through you. And you have been chosen for this time to be a vessel of that. And we're thankful that we get the chance to sip on it, and it's permeating all over the industry. So many people are saying so many great things. Again, I was referred to you by somebody that just heard us speak inside of a room, and then they said, man, you need to speak to Daniel Gomez, because there's somebody that's talking like you. Then I look at and I watch and I saw what you were doing. I was like, this is like a big brother to us that is doing what we're doing.
That was the first thing Lou said. I think he's my long lost brother. I don't know.
Boom, baby. Woo!
He said to me last week when he was like, oh yeah, we're going to be interviewing Daniel. I was like, oh cool. After talking to him, dude, that's like my brother. I don't know. I think he's like my long lost brother, really.
And you might be. I mean, you're from that side of the earth. You know, we might be connected some way. But there is that Mayan blood in me. But inside of that, I want to kick into some origins, because there's so many places that we can take this conversation, and all of the things that you said and that you're pouring out. The key pieces of all of it, folks, is that he is firmly planted in who he is, in doing everything that he does.
Right.
When he activated his faith towards building his business in the face of it, the biggest adversity of his life and his wife's life, they looked at it together, held on to the hand of a leading father, demoted themselves down to saying, you lead me, I go where you say. And then you hear him saying, I humbled myself, took a demotion in title, right? We just changed a couple of letters in the title underneath your name, which, remember, car guys, car gals, solutionaries out there, your title does not define you. Your father does. Your
Boom, baby.
for you. Okay. So that's why we love everybody. We don't care about your title. We care about that the same father that's in love with me is in love with you, and I should love you too. And so with that, we found a love for a business. We found a connection point inside of an industry that is mucked with lying, cheating, stealing, unfaithfulness, disloyalty, the darkness. I can't tell you how many people gave side looks when saying that Lou's a car salesman, Fred's a car salesman. And we took that with, you don't know what car dealing's like until you actually deal with us. If you've seen it bad, well, you need to see what it looks like to see it good. We've been trying to kill this stigma. We've been trying to slay that understanding. And the best way that we've done it is not by pointing at the problem. It's just by turning on our light, glowing the best that we can, and doing it as right as we can before God, our family, and the people that we get to serve. But brother, you've come into this business, seen it all, enjoyed it all, and mucked through it all. Brother, what brought you to the car business?
Well, you know, I love the car business. You know, I was actually saving up a lot of money to buy my own point. And I bled blue, right? I bled Chevrolet blue. I bled everything was Chevy at my house, and I believed it. I grew up with my dad. My old man had an old Chevy truck, and that's just who I was. But when my dad actually, what happened was my dad was diagnosed with liver cancer when I was 25 years old, and they gave him a month to live. And by the grace of God, he lived a year. He ended up passing away. But I left my job at the time, and we started selling piñatas, man. We went and bought a big old Morgan box truck, diesel truck, and we were going to Mexico picking up piñatas, and we were doing good, actually. And I really thought that he was going to be healed, but he ended up passing away. He just didn't make it. And I got depressed for a couple of months. That's when my son was a little baby. He was like 10 months, and I just took care of my son. My wife went back to work at Home Depot, and I saw an ad in the newspaper at the time. We still had newspaper. For those that don't know, it's a paper that you read.
Yeah,
and
right.
I went there and I just asked God to give me a sign, man. And there was a scripture that said that those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. And I just felt that that's where I needed to be, and didn't have an idea what I was going to do. It just went there, and I was just Daniel. And of course, it's an adjustment period. But right off the bat, second month is when 9/11 happened. Chevrolet came out with Keep America Rolling, and I never looked back. One salesman of the month, salesman of the year, salesman of the year. This is back in 2002, 2003, making 100,000, which is equivalent to about $250,000 now, right? Because pretty much I was 20 something years ago. But I say that because I had a passion for sales, and I just loved it. But as I grew in this, I really learned the business aspect, reading financials and understanding people. And when I took a step back, I was like, man, I know more about business than I realized, because the car business is a beautiful thing if you treat it right, if you go in there with the aspect of what can I learn from this, because
I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the car business. People always say, man, you sound like a car salesman. I'm like, great, because some of the most successful people in business are car salesmen. And second of all, I want you to tell me a business that survives without sales and without revenue. And when I tell them that, they don't know what to say. You know, I'm not going to be apologetic for who I am, because that's who I am. And I don't apologize for my fate. And it's a good example. The other day we were in Clubhouse, and, you know, Grant Cardone came in there in one of the rooms we were in. Beautiful stuff. And God put on my heart, say a prayer for this guy, because we all need God. Somebody messaged me from Paragon and said, hey, man, that was unprofessional. I was like, bro, I'm not going to be unapologetic, man. I don't care who you are. I said, if God tells me to speak, I'm going to speak. And I'm going to stand by who I am. That's just the truth. And then it's funny, right? When you act mature and you kind of step back and you just, I just left it alone. It's amazing. I went back to my IG and I had like 5 more messages, because it just shows their immaturity of how they keep on trying to provoke you. But I've learned, right? This is for the leaders out there. Sometimes silence is golden, and maturity is just being quiet.
Those are some powerful words right there, bro. Seriously. And I love them. Very, very powerful, because it's true. You know, people are going to hate. When you do something great, when you do something that's not the norm, but yet it's right, and you know it's right, nothing to be apologetic for. You know what you did. You know what was in your heart. You know that it was mature of you, and it was very mature of you not to respond back and get crazy with them, right? And you knew better. You already knew. They're trying to provoke, just like a bully in the streets. You know, they try to provoke you. They try to hit you, or the keyboard bully that's online that tries to talk smack when they're talking to you when you're in chat room years ago, right? I don't know if they still do that kind of stuff. I haven't been. They could talk really tough with the keyboard, but you know, but you have to understand that's just words, and words they'll go through you, and they'll just let them go. You know, the key is, you know where you're at. There's only one person that you have to be accountable to, and that person is above you, and he knows. So as long as he knows, you're golden. And I appreciate that, Daniel. I appreciate you for sharing that. You know, Grant Cardone's one of those guys that was a car guy that did some great stuff. You know, car guys are amazing, and being in sales is nothing to be ashamed of. And it's a matter of fact, it's what we all do, even as human beings. We sell. Period. Every single day, we're selling something. Whether it's, you know, selling you're selling whatever it is, you're doing that. When you're first dating somebody, or when you're meeting a new friend, you're selling yourself. You're not in that provocative way. You're selling yourself as in mentally, you're pitching yourself, and we all do that naturally. We don't even realize it. But you know, the people that are really good at this business, it's a natural thing. We don't sit there and try to force the issue. We learn to make it our own, become the best version of ourselves, understand that there's a process to the thing, but the process really is just a step-by-step guide of how buying a car goes, or how selling anything goes, right? It's just, there's just a way that everything goes. There's a way, the way life is, the way we grow. We're born, then we become a toddler, then we become a kid, and then we become a teenager, and then we become a young adult, and then we become a grown-up, a parent, right? Maybe, if you're lucky.
Well, Fred, I love what you said there, Fred, right? The customer is buying you before they buy any product, before they buy any car, any service, they're buying you. And if your energy is low, if your enthusiasm is low, if you're not smiling, if you're not, hey, welcome to ABC Motors, come on, thank you for our big sale. Every day's a sale day. Every day's a big day. But so many times I go into these dealerships and just the mindset, the culture, right? I've asked many GMs, well, what's the culture of your store? And they look at me like, I don't know. They don't say nothing. They don't know. Your store has to have a culture, because if you don't have a culture, that's the underlying. No matter what you do, the underlying issue there is the culture. If you create the winning culture, a great culture, a respectful culture, a culture that honors other people, the culture is going to take over, and people are going to just buy into it. But so many times, many of these managers they don't know how to create a culture, because unfortunately, right, on the defense of some of the sales managers and desk managers, they've never been trained. They've never been sent to a school. And by the grace of God, I had a great leader that I love with all my heart, Mr. Domingo Vara. He taught me, right, be a man of integrity. This guy's a multi-millionaire. We'd be going to lunch, right, because we're on the south side of San Antonio having Mexican food tacos, and he'd pick over, he'd stop, pick up the trash, not call a porter, not call anybody. He would pick up the trash. And I would see this day in, day out, day in, month out, year in. So now everywhere I walk, I pick up trash. My kids go, Dad, why do you do that? Because it was instilled in me by a great man of God, of integrity, that cared about his dealership. He said, my dealership might be on the south side, but it's going to be a representation of who I am and who God is in me.
Boom. Man, I love it.
Ever since then, wherever I go, man, I ain't too good to pick up trash. I ain't too good to pick up trash.
That's actually great that you do that. And I preach that. Actually, that's something I preach a lot too. can't stand when my salespeople walk by like an empty water bottle sitting in, or like a couple piece of papers on the floor. I'm like, this is your home, bro. Do you not pick up trash at your house? Pick up trash here. It's take pride in where you're at, because people see that. Your customers see that. You see that. Other salespeople see that. Be a leader. Speaking of that, and I love what you're talking about, because that's actually what my next question was going to be, is about mentorship. In this business, we all come up. In this world, in this game of life, we all come up. We have mentors. We have people who inspire us. I know you just mentioned somebody right there, but out of all the people that you've been touched by, people who've poured into you and gave you a little bit of love and showed you the way, who's been the most inspirational mentor for you?
Domingo Vara. He's an amazing man. Right? I was with him for almost 14 years, and we agreed to disagree. But now that I look back, it's like he was a father figure that I didn't have, that I needed at that season in my life. And like I said, he's a man of integrity. He didn't even go to college. He grew up. Well, if you know San Antonio, there's a high school called Fox Tech. He's a graduate of Fox Tech. Grew up in the car business, and he just worked his way up. And it's just a beautiful thing when you see what he accomplished. And he just really, the word he always talked about was integrity.
Yes,
if you walk in integrity, you don't have to worry when the banks look at your deals, and that just stuck with me, right? And there's many times that we pass on a deal that we could have jiggied, right? They don't know, but it's like, is it really worth losing a lender over jigging a deal? Because when I was running the dealership, I was the one rehashing a lot of the deals, because I hated finance, but I love the rehash, right? I didn't love to spin the paper, but I could talk to the buyers and, hey, come on, give me a way to do this. But it's like never at the cost of the integrity of the store, because once you lose integrity in one area, you're going to lose it in another area.
Boom. That is, folks, listen to what he just said there. It's so key. One deal is not worth ruining your business. One deal is not worth losing a lender that can help you make 20 deals, right? Always lead with integrity. Man, that's my number one core value in my life, period. Has been since forever, man. I was in the Air Force. Integrity was one of the core values. I do martial arts. Integrity is one of our core values. Just period. I tell you who really pushed that on me, though, the most in my life, and I could tell you is my biggest mentor. It's my wife. She really threw that. I used to be a lying, scamming person. Not really. I wasn't that bad, but I would lie for sometimes for no reason. It was something. It seemed like, right, But then one day she told me, and she made it very clear. And my wife's the most honest person I know. It's unreal. I mean, it's uncanny. Like, there's not a word that comes out of her mouth that's not what the truth is, at least in her eyes, right? Yeah, sometimes it is with the left jab and an uppercut, right? But what I do love about that is that it helped me understand how important that is, and it is, because when your word is your bond, and when people really have to believe in your word, the moment that they can't believe your word, there's no longer any trust. There's nothing there. They're done. I mean, I could tell you, through my own experiences, when I got caught up in a lie, it took a long time to reverse that. Sometimes it never got fixed. And, and you have to understand that's your fault. That's no one else's fault but your own, because you didn't have the integrity. Integrity goes a long way. And to have that, man, I love that you have that from your mentor. I know you probably had that already, but to know that even deeper and to see that and to feel that, it's awesome. And it's true, because it's like you said, even when you take away the car business, you tell a story to somebody, you don't have to worry about covering up a lie with a lie, with a lie, with a lie, with a lie, with a lie. And that just keeps going and it won't stop. So I appreciate you for sharing that very much so, man. And I'm so glad you had a mentor like that. And I'm sure that you are passing that legacy from him. See, that's what legacy is about, is getting a piece for people and sharing that. I know that he probably didn't even intentionally have a legacy left like that, but he's doing it. And then you're sharing that with other people. And today, folks, you all listening, pick up trash, make yourself. I know it sounds crazy. That's not the full story of it. You guys got to hear. I'm sure you guys hear the underlying part of that. Is to have pride in everything you do, to have integrity, to always do the right thing, and just when you see something like that, just do it. Whether it's trash, or you see somebody sitting there and they just look like they're not doing what they're supposed to do, or maybe they look like they're not in the mood they should be, and you go over there and just touch them on the shoulder, and say, "Hey, how everything's going? Are you okay?" There's so many things you can do in life that are that way. Appreciate you for sharing that, Daniel.
No, for sure.
Connecting all of those dots, Fred being in the military, Air Force.
Hoorah.
You probably came through San Antonio, right?
I did.
You went through Lackland.
Lackland Air Force Base. Beautiful city. Loved it.
I ever went to San Antonio was to celebrate my son graduating inside of his basic training, and
BMT.
Seeing how that city honored people. They honor the military well.
Oh, yes,
they do a great job.
It's a big military town.
The military there. You're close to the Alamo. A lot of key things that are rooted inside of their approach to honoring people and those that are in the area. But when you go to the Riverwalk, it's not a dirty mess. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm used to seeing dirty messes, right? And the military helped me to understand how to go pick up something, clean it. You're responsible for this. And connecting the dots inside of the responsibility and the weight of the honor, because that's actually the translation of what honor means. For those of you that are scholars, do want to research core meanings of word. A man is worth double honor. That means double weight. If you honor your mother and father, which means not that you just obey them. It's one thing to obey them. It's another thing to truly put weight on what their words are. Okay, that's actually where the word weight comes in. Anyway, with honor, that means you give weight to that meaning, to that person. You give value to that person. And you described earlier the sack of potatoes, right? And I want to add to that, which I believe we're all here to add to each other, because you can get a function out of the potatoes, but the weight of unforgiveness, there's nothing useful about it. It's just a big bag of useless, dead rocks, right? That are just going to stop a stream someplace else. The things that we've been given are the talents we've been given.
Yep.
You've been given a measure, Daniel. I've been given a measure. Fred's been given a measure. We are each responsible for the measure we have. We're not the giver of it.
Yep.
It's someone else's. We've been given it. We have to be responsible with it. So whatever level of talent, whatever level of gift, whatever level of weight that we are trusted with, it is our responsibility to produce from it. And either we can produce greatly or we can bury it and see nothing come of it because of the weight of unforgiveness or the fear of what would happen if we lost it. You have learned many, 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 many hard lessons, I am sure. And I'm sure that there's no question that there was a lot of big revelation that happened inside of your life. The moment you're finding out that your wife is threatened with this disease, to I'm giving up my entire source, what many people would say was my source of income, right? You realized who your source was, and that was clear, right? So now it's just, what do I do with the source that's pumping into me, right? It's whatever job gives me money. You're blessed to have me collect your check. You know what I mean? Because the blessings of God come through you to get to me. And that's how everybody should feel in any situation that they're in.
Yes.
So, but you've learned a lot of lessons. You've learned a lot of hard things, and you've been given many talents, and you've been faithful to be fruitful with many of them. What has been the hardest lesson up to now that you've had to learn in your business and in your practice and in your pursuit?
Oh, that's easy, man. Surrendering. We don't want to surrender because of our ego and our pride.
Wow.
And really, when God went through that CEO president thing, I know I was laughing about it, making a joke, but in all seriousness, man, I had to surrender. And so many of us, our pride gets in the way, our ego gets in the way, and we don't want to let go. We don't want to surrender. But I'll tell you, when you surrender and you really just trust, right? We don't trust God because we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our team because we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our spouse because we don't trust ourselves. Whenever there's a trust issue, it's you. You're the issue. There's something that you need to resolve within yourself. And for me, right, from my trust issues came from being a little kid and just really my dad saying, hey, I'll be back. And he never came back that one day. And I remember that. But we don't realize that those little traumas, right? Arrested development takes place in a child, and we oversee stuff like that because we don't understand the psychology behind it. And these traumas, as you're growing up, they stay with you and they affect your decisions. And I had a lot of trust issues, man. But the moment I really just kind of grew and really learned how to surrender and trust God, then I could trust myself. Now, like we put it this way, 2020 showed you who the real leaders were, right? The real leaders were the ones that stepped forward, took action. And I'm not going to use the word pivot because everybody uses pivot because you can pivot with the dumb old mindset still and not get anywhere. But when you really shift in your thinking and your approach, because the leaders that got scared and shrunk back, dealerships, businesses closed down because they didn't understand it. You found out who they were at the core. Right. And at the core, I was like, okay, well, I didn't know what I was going to do, but at the core, I said, well, he's my supplier. What do you want me to do? We started the podcast, Daniel Gomez Inspires, won Podcast of the Year. Sticker Shock Speaking Academy was born. And that's been like a mega, mega blessing in 2020, carrying to 2021. We've doubled our revenue. We've grown. And because of the podcast now, Out of the podcast came 6 other products that now we're launching now we're launching podcasts for clients. We're producing podcasts, and now we're doing all these other things too. But because with that March 16th, when they closed the country down, I lost like $40,000 in paid speaking gigs. And I could have felt sorry for myself and said, what am I going to do? But I didn't. I said, God, what do you want me to do? I need something. You know, I'm not going to worry because I trust you. And those ideas came down and I received them. But most people, we receive them, Fred and Lou, but we don't act upon them. We don't act upon them because we're scared. And it's not just, it doesn't matter what size of business. God will give you an idea as a dealer principal, as a business owner, and we don't act upon them because, well, that's just the way we've always done it, and they stick with that. That's the way we've always done it, and then they never evolve, right? They never evolve, they never grow. And then the same dealership family group. There's one here in South Texas. I went to the Chevy store, doing phenomenal. I went to the Dodge Point, and it was like doom and gloom. But it's the GMs were too different, right? And it's amazing. You see who the real person is after, right? But think about it this way. We all have, just to say we have 5 tea bags in front of us and they're all different flavors. Well, you don't know what the tea bag flavor is until what? So you put it in the boiling water, you reveal the flavor of the tea.
Mm-hmm.
And in many people's lives, you don't know what type of leader, what type of manager or business owner they are until they're put in that boiling water. And you find out who they are in the inside. That's when you find out somebody is under stress, right? You find out who they are.
I mean, that's literally Bruin Solutions.
Right?
Oh,
Boom, right? Yeah, and man, such great information right there. I mean, gosh, I really hope that everybody's watching that, because you know what he just said is powerful. What he just brought up and how he put that together, man. Dude, you got me so pumped up and inspired.
He knows what he's doing, right? I mean, he kind of has a speaking academy.
Yeah,
right? He knows a bit about what he's doing, right?
I loved how you,
So
you see something like, I loved how you said that, where you said, you had $40,000 worth of speaking engagements coming up, right? Because we all know that there was a lot of events planned for last year.
And then COVID.
And then swoop, canceled everything. So some people, I'm not saying all, some people would just give up. Oh man, my life's ruined. I don't know what I'm going to do now. But no, you put your hands in God and you were like, listen, obviously you have a new path for me. What is that path? Show me the way. You found that way, and you're going to multiply. And it's those speaking engagements. One day you're going to look back at and laugh and be like, look, I look what else I grew during that time. If I would have been to those speaking engagements, I wouldn't have this going on. I wouldn't have these other projects that I just started, that the good Lord just said, hey, here it is. This is your opportunity. And you took it, man. And I love what you're doing, man. That's, gosh,
and there's a reason
you don't understand how much you inspire me.
Connecting with us at this time in our juncture in our lives.
Yeah,
it's key that these worlds are colliding in our souls.
Your words are really speaking to me right now, because there's a lot of things that I want to do in life, and they're very much speaking to me. We are definitely taking those steps. They're scary steps. But they're exciting, because I know I have faith. I also understand that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's what I have passion for right here in my heart. I feel it. I know that somebody put that inside me, right? I know that I'm supposed to be doing something like this. Supposed to be, right? Supposed to be doing this. Right? But I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to somebody like you. I'm excited to hear your story. I'm excited to hear all the stuff that you're talking about. I'm literally mentally just so focused on what you're saying, and I can't wait to just keep growing and just to implement things that you've done. And the thing is that what he's saying, folks, is take chances, but take the right chances. Understand that you have works out there that you can do, that your life isn't just what you're doing now. Sometimes we put the blinders up and we forget and we don't realize. And like he said about people who get stuck in dealerships, who are stuck in doing, it's the way we've always done it. It's the way I've always done it. It's just get that out of your vocab. Just because it was the way you've always done it. Well, look where you're at. Is it helping? Are you growing? No, you're not. You're stuck. Whoop. So when you're stuck and there's a level line, it's time to do something different.
Well, Fred, not to interrupt you, but there's something that comes to mind is this: we make excuses, and I don't buy excuses, right? I don't buy excuses. The reason I don't buy excuses is because I started my business right when my wife, a month after she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was diagnosed in September. She had her major surgery in November. By December, I made a decision that we're going to do this. So when somebody comes with me an excuse, I'm like, it's lame, right? And the sad part is we use our family as an excuse. Many times I talk to small business owners or people that want to be an aspiring entrepreneur. Well, my wife, my kids, yeah, that's why you should even do it even more, right? That's why you should go out there and be even more. But we use our family as the excuse. I had to pay bills too. Believe me, I left a job making almost $200,000 a year. Believe me, I know what it's like to need money. I've had the Rolexes, I've had the Corvette. Believe me, but that's not who I am. Those are just things that God has given me. But I realize it's not about Daniel anymore. But the amazing thing is, once I let go, God did more than what I could ever imagine. And now, this past Christmas, man, I took almost 3 weeks off because I had the luxury of doing it. But I say that because so many times you make these excuses and we play this dialogue in our mind when it's out there in front of us, right? God says, step into the Jordan, I will receive the water. God doesn't say, I'll receive the water, then you step into the Jordan. But so many of us, what's keeping us from you in the promised land is you're scared to step into the water. And it takes an act of faith, and you have to have that faith, and you got to know that, hey, I'm not the CEO. God is. He's not going to lead me somewhere where he's not going to take care of me. And Fred, God wants you to know that there's another level for you, man. So stop holding back.
You're right, Daniel. Thank you. And I feel that, bro. I am not holding back. Be watching out. But anyway, that being said, I'm excited. I'm excited to have this conversation because honestly, I mean, all it does is just make me have even less fear. My fear is very minimal, trust and believe. But it's giving me, having this confidence. That's why I talk about getting together, while we do our clubhouse meetings, while we do all these things, because the more people that get together that are on that same, like that mindset, like, hey, I want to grow, I want to do this. And then they hear the stories, and then they hear what's going on. They hear testimonies. Testimonials are so important because
that's what makes us overcomers.
It is. It's sometimes just hearing your partner, your friend, or somebody that you look up to tell a story that's similar to yours. And then you hear where they went through, and then you're like, but they're still growing, and they're on top, and you see them smiling and just talking all this positive stuff. You're like, wow, I'm inspired. And that inspiration, some people take with them and they use it. Some people may just have inspiration for the moment, forget about it. But I try to do the first, I try to make sure that I take that inspiration and I use it and I go with it. And then I try to share with other people. I try to pass on what you say to other people. I try to do all that. And that's what we all do. Man, seriously, I'm so inspired by you right now. I don't even want to ask this fifth question because that's the last question.
Real quick.
I want to keep this going. Right?
I do want to show this off, everybody, that there's something that he tagged in there, and I'm just seeing it all pieced together. As Daniel is saying how he had to let go of things, right? Daniel, do me a quick favor. Hold your left hand up like that, right? And pull it down just a little bit. Pull it a little closer to your chin. There you go. Right there, right there. Okay, so he eventually let go. He let go. And then what got given back to him, open up your hand, is right above his hand. He let go, and then God put in front of him the Daniel Gomez Show. You see that right there?
Inspires.
In front of his hand, above his hand, the Daniel Gomez Show got released to him as he let go of what he was holding on to. You can put your hand down, bro. But that's exactly what's going on, right? He got given something else that was greater than when he humbled himself, when he put himself in a position that allowed him to be brought to a higher level. And that took a lot of trust, and that definitely took a shield of faith. And that's what he's using. That's the drum we're trying to hit, is faith over fear, people over profits, relationship over revenue, God over everything. Okay. The biggest thing that we're trying to make sure that we do, it's continue to fly to where we are created to fly. And there are great rewards inside of that, brother.
Speaking of great rewards, folks, this is going to be my fifth question. I really don't like getting to the end of this thing, but here, because I'm really having fun since morning. Fifth question for you. And it is, since you've been doing all this, since you've been coming up and things have been you've been inspiring others and you've been doing a lot of stuff. And I know that this answer could be a multitude of things, but what has been your greatest reward from all the work that you've put together in your life?
Oh man, my relationship with my family. And they after 3 months that my wife had her surgery, I was with my son, Julian. He's my little king, man. I love that kid, right? I love all my kids, but he's my consentido. And we were just there, and he goes, man, Dad, I'm having a good time. And I was just like, me being the jokes, I said, what's up, punk? You weren't having a good time with me before? And he just cried. He goes, Dad, you weren't nice a lot of times. And I knew at that moment that I was on the right path. And I knew at that moment, whatever I had to go through, I was going to go through it. I've cried. I've broken things. I'm not ashamed to say it, right? I'm human, man. But when my kids call me just to call me, not because they need money, they need anything. Hey, Dad, what are you doing? I'm just want to talk with you. What's going on? And we have these conversations, and we can be silly and really have that relationship with my kids, man. That's priceless, because so many children out there right now, teenagers, young adults, don't have that relationship with their family, and God restored my relationship with my wife, with my son, with my daughter.
Yes.
And my baby girl Alicia, right? We were mad at each other. I think when all this was happening, I think we were mad at each other, but we're both the same person, so we always bumped heads. And it's just my family, man. It's just my kids are mean a lot to me, and I always put God, my family, and then work, and I live by that. And it just my values, man. But I can say just the joy of having my son call me, and there was a point, like right, you see people are hearing this, like, yeah, this guy, whatever, right? But I'm gonna be honest, like there was a point that I was crying in the restroom, and I was 99.9% sure that I was gonna give up, Fred and Duke. I was gonna give up. I said, why the hell am I struggling when I can go back to the automotive industry and make $250,000? Why am I struggling? And I was crying in the bathroom, and I said, but I had customers. I was making a little bit of revenue, but that was a tipping point for me. I walked outside, and I remember my son called me, and he goes, Dad, what's wrong? I said, nothing, I'm good. He goes, you're lying. I can hear it in your voice. And I tried to play it off because I was really crying, because I was just frustrated and angry, and just because, after you get so many no's, it takes a toll on you. But after I was really sure I was going to just give up and go home, my son is the one that motivated me and inspired me. He said, Dad, you're the one that says winners never quit. You're the ones that said quitters never win. Look in the mirror, Dad. I said, no, Julian. He goes, Dad, I'm not asking you. Look in the mirror. And my son's pretty stout now, right? He bench presses 350 pounds.
Oh, I've seen his pictures. He's got a chest on that kid like no other. I was like,
so he goes, he just, God spoke to him. He goes, I'm not asking you, Dad. Look in the mirror. And he walked me through what I had walked him through time and time again.
Wow.
Tell yourself I'm a winner, Dad. Tell yourself I'm a champion. And at that moment when I was going to give up, God brought my son into my day, and he carried me through. And I didn't sell anything that day, which is okay, but I didn't go home. And that gave me the momentum to make it another day. And here we are. So believe me, I know what it's like to be at the bottom. I know what it's like to eat cereal with water. I know what it's like. So I don't take anything I have for granted. So I would say, really, man, just my family is priority to me. And I've learned to respect them and respect my wife, because many years I took my wife for granted, and you just don't realize you're doing it. What you take for granted, you eventually lose sometimes.
That's right. What you don't honor, you will lose.
I love it. Yeah. And that's touching, man. I mean, that really hit me right in the heart. Seriously, talking about your son like that, what he just did for you there. Wow. That's powerful. It is those things. We do say things like that, and our kids listen, and so whether they're the right things, when you say stuff like, I am a champion, I am a winner, or I'm a loser, life is bad, we're never going to have good luck. Your kids hear that and they believe what you say. So make sure the words that you put out there are powerful, because one day your kids are going to talk to you when you need it. Just like Daniel. And when Daniel needed it, his son hit him with some knowledge, and that knowledge was poured down to him through his father.
He put a seed in him. You see,
it's beautiful, but that's what you need. And that's the powerful part of love, of unconditional love, and I love that. I love your son for that, and he was so right on the money. I love how he put you in your place and said, Dad, look in the mirror right now. And man, to get you through another day. And that's sometimes all it is. Sometimes it's just, we need to get through another hour. Sometimes it's just another minute, and when you have people, when you have family that you honor and they honor you back, and you you instill the right core values in them, integrity, honesty, love, all these little things that are just so key, indomitable spirit, these things are so key in life. And to be able to instill that, and then they get to one day be the parent and instill that in you for a moment and help you move forward. That is a beautiful reward, man. I love that. I absolutely just love that. I totally do. I'm not even excited, like, oh yeah, woo! I'm really like touched right now. Like, that's how I feel, really touched. So thank you so much for sharing that, Daniel.
Full cycle car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries. Daniel put seeds out. Father gives seed to the sower. He put seed inside a good ground. The good ground was his son. He nurtured that seed. He watered that seed. And when the time came that Daniel had to take a bite of that fruit that his son grew, his son had coming off of him. It was available for Daniel when he needed it.
Yes.
So it's so important that you sow the right seeds. It's so important that you sow with intention in the face of your children. You let them know that you need them too. And that's the greatest part of honor that I believe is happening inside of this legacy of growth that we are bringing forth to the industry, is that we're no longer trying to impede somebody else's growth so that we can rise just above them. We are now trying to find a way to get everybody tooled up and focused on growing together.
Yes.
Rising together. And guess what? The generation behind us, if we have too much pride to let them feed us when we need it, we're not going to continuously grow. And that's what Daniel is bringing. That's what the subprime hero is bringing. That's what the solutionaries that are rising are bringing. We are sowing seeds so that we can have the fruit to be able to share with everybody that needs it. We want to be able to give to any good work that needs it. We want to be able to speak life, because a lot of times that's what turns around everything. You can fix a lot of problems with a check, folks, but the entire cosmos was put in order by a word. Just by a word, everything was put into action. So you can change somebody's total trajectory in life if you are strong enough to go forward with a shield of faith and speak words that inspire, like our friend Daniel Gomez. So honored that you have come, blessed this mic, poured into our cups, and we are sipping it up. I can't wait to listen to this again and again and again and again, and just to talk with you a little bit more, because brother, what you're given, so many need to have. And again, you don't need my validation. The Father identifies you. You don't need 10 other podcasts validation. The Father identifies you, right? You just bring what it is that you were given, take your talents, invest them different places, and watch the reward come. And man, it's going to be so fruitful, so awesome. But that son, father is another announcement, folks. You got to dig into this. You got to dig into this. When the hearts of the sons turn to the fathers, the unveiling is on its way, folks, and I'm pumped up about it. The earth is on tiptoe, and I'm having fun brewing solutions with all of these incredible solutionaries. My brother is back, and I'm so pumped up that we are doing what we're doing with all of you. Daniel, man, I won't shut up because of how excited I am about what you poured into us, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys, man. I'll tell you what, and I just love people. And something that, just when you really get out of your own way, I just got a email this morning from Chartable. I was in the top 100 in Norway and Europe, and I was going to post that here, but I was just to not be able to, right? Sometimes we get the vision so small that we just want to impact the sales team and we want to impact our dealerships and we're the GM. But when God says, you know what, you've been faithful with the little, I'm going to give you more. And we got top 200 in the United States. The next thing you know, today I got the notification, top 60, right? We were number 60. I took a picture of it in Norway and Europe. So it's like the Daniel Gomez Inspire show is going international, and it's like it's just epic, man. It's just epic. And
beautiful.
To be a best-selling author, right? This is my new book, Sticker Shock. You can go to Amazon right now. This is for dealerships, right?
Hold that up to the screen. Hold that up a little further. Bam.
Leveraging confidence and success in the car business, sales, and life. If you have some new sales professionals that need some direction, y'all need to buy this book. Because without confidence, you're not going to win in the car business.
Boom.
Without confidence, you're not going to win in life.
Fact.
And I can tell you, just the reviews that we've gotten has been amazing, and it's just been one of those things. It came out, and COVID happened, so it kind of stayed on the shelf for a while. But I'll tell you, if you get a copy, Sticker Shock, right? The moment most salespeople don't succeed because they undervalue who they are. But when you realize how much value you have and God loves you, the sky's the limit.
Well,
dude,
it is the limit.
That book, Sticker Shock, folks, go check it out. Love the title, for one.
Yes.
Awesome title, especially for Car Guy, right? That's the best title in the world. I am going to go check that. I'm going to order that book as soon as we get off here today. Yeah. Daniel, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that thing. And Daniel, we're going to meet very soon. And I want you to sign my book. Yes. And it's got to be a special message. Right. So I'm excited, man.
How can they get a hold of you? I mean,
what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Man, my brand is Daniel Gomez Inspires. You can find me here on LinkedIn at Daniel Gomez, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on my YouTube page is Daniel Gomez Inspires. Pinterest, Daniel Gomez Inspires. I have a big following on Pinterest, believe it or not. And those boards work. So if you want to grow your social media, you definitely need to get a Pinterest account. And yeah, you can go to danielgomezglobal.com. That's danielgomezglobal.com. And just send me a message. We definitely want to connect with you and give your audience, if someone needs help, we do give a complimentary 45-minute discovery session. And you can go to Meet, right? Go to the bit.ly/meet Daniel Gomez. That's bit.ly/meet Daniel Gomez, and schedule your 45-minute consultation for free. I love giving value, right? You can't outgive God. And I'll tell you what, man, I just love adding value. So tune into our show. It's on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere else. And just if you Google Daniel Gomez Inspires, I'll come up. So you'll see all my handles there. And I just love people. So whatever I can give out, man, for nothing, I love to do that. So thank you so much for having me, Fred and Lou. Man, it was a blessed time. I really, really enjoyed it. And Fred, just don't tell Lou I'm going to sign your book first, okay? Whatever you do, don't tell him.
That's right. Hey, you just said it right here, folks. I get my book signed first. Oh, all right. I'm a champion this morning. I am super confident, ready to go into the day, super inspired by Daniel Gomez, man.
Just don't tell Lou, though. Don't tell Lou, okay?
I won't tell him, I promise.
Tell me what.
That's a secret. Man, folks, you guys you see the website right down there. Go check him out. Get inspired. This guy is all about everything, and he will help you grow. It's not just about the car business. If you're out there and you're in business, if you just need a life coach, man, reach out to this guy. I promise you, he has a way to help energize and caffeinate the way that you need to go through life. That's right.
So, all you car guys and car gals that have to get on to your day, go ahead and put something inside of your cup that gets you energized and ready to wake up. This morning, we have been taking on the challenges of our day, using our tongues of truth and making sure that we are going forward with our friend Daniel Gomez with a shield of faith. Can't tell you how much that'll help you get over sticker shock as you go and attack the world, paying the price that it takes to succeed. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
Woo! We can't tell you how inspired we are.
Man.
Aspire to inspire. Daniel Gomez, inspires.com. Make sure you go get you some of that. You also need to get you something else that'll inspire you with the good aromas of caffeinated consistency. Go to carguycoffee.com. Drink up some of those solutions we're brewing. Once again, thank you, Daniel Gomez, for brewing with us. Let's brew, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being out here today.
Love you all.
Daniel, if you could hold on 1 second once we get off here, I want to just get a little bit more from you. And then, but folks, go out, reach out, appreciate. Have a great week.
Say bye, Daniel.
We'll see y'all Thursday morning. Peace out.
Woo! Was
All
that
right,
fun
folks.
or what?
That was the best show ever.
Wow,
I mean, I had a blast. I mean,
Wow.
I totally am inspired. I'm
tingling.
I'm so thankful Daniel joined us this morning. I'm can't wait. I'm getting ready to go to work right now and crush the day. I already know it. I'm going to go inspire everybody on my team. I'm going to get them motivated. Oh, what a day. What a morning. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you go out and get his book, Sticker Shock. Guys, it's going to be an amazing book. That the title alone, if you're in the car business, you're silly not to go buy it. That right there should just let you think a little bit. Sticker Shock. I love it.
Makes you think, like Think Ad Group.
That's it.
Get some of that.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all later. Peace out. Have a great one. See ya.